Hey everyone, this is Elise from Cycle9. Today I want to give you another tip on riding in traffic, and this is something that beginning bikers especially have a hard time with because it's kind of a concept that doesn't go, it's not natural, it kind of goes against your natural instincts. And that is this concept of riding big, taking the lane, riding out a little bit from the curb. Now, the natural tendency of people, especially beginning bikers, is to ride as close to the right-hand curb as you can, sometimes even in the gutter. And you know, I think this stems from our natural fear of being hit from behind. And as I talked to you about in a previous video, one huge thing you can do to stem that fear is to ride with a mirror so you can actually see what's coming from behind. But in fact, it's actually not very likely you're going to be hit from behind. You're actually much more likely to have an accident at an intersection with a car crossing, either coming from a side road, turning in front of you, those kinds of things. And one of the big things you can do instead of hugging the curb is ride out a little bit into the lane. And one of the big things that does is actually put you in the viewpoint of where car drivers are looking when they're coming to an intersection. So for instance, imagine you're riding down the street and a car is coming from the right on a street and they're going to turn in front of you. When they come to that stop sign, they're looking to the center of the lane because they're looking to see if there is any cars coming before they pull out. They're not looking in the gutter or right next to the curb where a biker might be. So if you're actually riding out a little bit, you're more in their viewpoint so that they can see you coming. Now, of course, you're going to use your judgment on this because you don't want to be riding in the middle of the lane when that's not necessary. But another thing this does, and this is something I use whenever I am riding on a traffic lane that's a narrow two-lane situation with no shoulder, is I actually do ride out a little bit, and there's two reasons for that. One is if I ride out from the line about a foot, anybody who's coming behind me has to essentially get onto the center line or maybe even cross slightly over in order to get past me because I've left them less space. And therefore they're much less likely to try that pass if there's oncoming traffic. Whereas if I'm right on the line, they might try to squeeze by even if there's oncoming traffic, and then none of us have any room. Now, once in a while you have that guy, that kind of jerk who's going to try to pass you and squeeze by anyway, but if you're riding out about a foot and you have your mirror, you can see him coming, you have a place to move. You can actually move over about a foot, give yourself that extra space without having to just take the ditch. So in fact, you have two things going for you. One, cars less likely to pass you, and second, if they do try to pass, you actually have somewhere to go. Now, I don't do this on super busy roads. In fact, just try to avoid them. But on a super busy road where you're going to be, creating a huge line of traffic behind you, you might not want to do that. But with less trafficked roads, I think it's a perfect way to ride, and actually much safer than hugging the curb in general. So I'm going to take a little bit of video just to show kind of what I'm talking about. But this is a concept that, like I say, it's not necessarily intuitive, but it makes a big difference in terms of your riding, your visibility to drivers, and the way that they treat you on the road. So thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, here I'm riding too close to the curb. There's no room to maneuver, and I'm not in the position where cars will be looking for traffic. Okay, in this section I'm riding at better lane positioning. I'm out about a foot from the curb where cars are going to be looking, drivers will be looking, and there's plenty of room to maneuver.